Hello again. My name is Marvin Kilborn. I'm a retired public school teacher. Taught for 15 years. That was after I completed a 22-year military career and just a few-year little break between the two. It's been about 5 months since I did a video. I haven't been real motivated to do any. Part of that is I initially, if you've been following along my video and read the About section, you know that I started this channel just to talk about and tell about my experiences in my 15 years of teaching school in Louisiana and Texas. Well, I did that and then thought about doing some other kind of videos, just different topics that interest me. I was trying to keep it more education related since that was the purpose of my channel. But yeah, along the way I just, like anything else, burned out a little bit. So anyway, it's been about 5 months since I did a video. I mentioned the 22-year military career partly because it's going to kind of play into what I'm going to talk about today. This is about education. It's actually about how the U.S. government tries to screw over teachers. I don't know what it is about the teaching profession that motivates people to try to screw them over, but it happens. I remember when I was just starting out as a teacher, and various times throughout my career, I would have people tell me, well, Mr. Kilborn, now that you're a teacher, you're not going to get Social Security because teachers aren't paid Social Security. Well, that's only true if you become a teacher, like at, let's say, 21, 22 years of age, graduate college, become a teacher. Granted, teachers do pay into a teacher retirement system, and most districts, I think there may still be some out there, some states maybe even, but here in Texas, typically we pay into the teacher retirement system of Texas. We do not contribute at all to Social Security. Well, so that would make sense. If you don't pay into Social Security, then you shouldn't get it. That only makes sense. I mean, unless you're an illegal alien climbing over the border. Of course, they're going to get everything. And that might even be part of why our government's figuring out ways to screw over retired teachers or teachers in general. We all know that teachers are way, way overworked and have way too many demands placed on them for honestly way too little pay. Anybody that could try to argue that teachers are overpaid, just no, can't. They don't have a leg to stand on. Anyways, so I retired in January of 2021. So just a year and a half ago, I retired, and I was 62 years old. That's the minimum age to start drawing Social Security. So on top of my military pension, and since I'm a 30% disabled veteran, I also get what's called a Veterans Administration offset waiver, something. All that really means is a portion of my military pension is not taxed. That's a benefit. So the higher disability you can get, the better off you are. For instance, if I happen to be 100% disabled, thank God I'm not, but if I were to be 100% disabled, then 100% of my military pension would be non-taxable. That's wonderful. All right, but I also, in addition to the military pension and the Veterans Administration pay, I also qualify for full Social Security, partly because I paid into it for the first 35 years of my working life before becoming a school teacher. I'm not going to get all off into the nuts and bolts, the nitty-gritty of how all that works, but once you become a teacher in Texas, all of a sudden now you're all of a sudden not paying into Social Security. You pay into TRS. Here's where it gets ugly. The federal government, the Social Security Administration, years ago, they came up with something called the Windfall Elimination Provision. That's kind of a weird sounding name. A windfall to me sounds like, wow, I'm in the money, like I hit the lottery or something. It's a windfall of money. Well, the government wants to restrict how much pension you receive. So when I retired and when I applied for my Social Security, I went through all the paperwork. I even went to the Social Security Administration to make sure that all my ducks were in a row, all my numbers were correct, that I'd used the right tables and formulas that can be found on the Social Security Administration website. I want to make sure that I was going to get the amount of Social Security that the Social Security Administration website said I would get. And they told me I was correct. Everything was good. And then starting January 2021, I started drawing my Social Security, and I was getting my full amount. The full amount that I was authorized and entitled to based on the 35 years that I had paid into it. All right, this is where it gets fun. I was also drawing my teacher pension on top of that. So here's where it gets fun. It's a couple months ago, I got a letter from the Social Security Administration with some forms in it. They wanted me to fill out these forms. I'm like, oh great, what's this about? I mean, we did all this when I retired. This is the amount of Social Security I'm entitled to, and I've been getting it. So what are you trying to do to me? Anyway, so I fill the forms out and I mail it back in. And just a few days ago, about a week ago now, I got my response from the Social Security Administration telling me that they had miscalculated my windfall elimination provision when I applied for Social Security and all that. So what it means is now they're going to take away a portion of my Social Security. I'm going to tell you, it's basically $40 a month. You know, I mean, Social Security, you don't get a whole lot in Social Security anyway, but I was entitled to the full amount based on my 35 years of paying into it. Now, all of a sudden, the Social Security Administration is telling me that since they miscalculated the windfall elimination provision when they initially set up my pension, they're going to have to dock me basically $40 a month. And since they've been paying me for the last 18 months, overpaying me according to them, they're going to take back almost $700 in a lump sum repayment in September. Well, that's awfully nice of them, right? They overpaid me, or at least they claimed they overpaid me. I never knew and certainly didn't think they were overpaying me. I mean, I did everything right. You know, it was on the up and up, trying to be honest, did it all. I'm getting what I thought I was entitled to. So now they're going to dock me, and since I didn't know they were overpaying me, now they want the whole $700 back, all in a lump sum payment, so they're going to dock my Social Security in September by $700. That's fun. I mean, with the damn price of gas right now and 40-year all-time inflation and all the other crap going on in the country, it's like, hey, Kilborn, we're gonna just take $700 away from you all at once because it's not your fault, but we screwed up, so we're going to penalize you. It's just messed up. But it just goes to show that this country just, for whatever reason, loves to screw over its teachers. And there's a couple ways I can look at this. One, I served in the military for 22 years. Now, to my knowledge, they're not reducing my military pension because I'm also getting Social Security. To my knowledge, they're not reducing my Social Security because I served in the military for 22 years. No penalty there. But hey, fool, you became a teacher, so we're going to figure out a way to cheat you out of the money that's rightfully yours. Now, if you look at it this way, if you're paying into a teacher retirement system, a 403B, a military retirement account, a savings account, mutual funds, whatever you're paying into, you're hoping that the interest will increase your earnings, increase your savings, and at some point you can have access to that money. So while I also paid into the Social Security Administration, I also paid into another system called the Teacher Retirement System of Texas. Two totally separate systems, shouldn't have anything to do with the other. Look at it this way. You go to a bank, say, let's call it Bank A. You go to Bank A and you say you want to open up a savings account, and they pay you, we'll just call it 2% interest. I'm not aware of any savings accounts that pay even that well, but let's just call it they pay 2% interest on your savings. And then you decide, hey, I'm going to go to Bank B and open another savings account where they're probably also going to pay me 2% on my savings. In a fair world, in a decent world, that's generally how it works. But now look at it this way. Let's say I opened up that savings account in Bank A, I'm getting 2% interest, and then I go over to Bank B and say, I want to open up a savings account here. And they go, well, Mr. Kilborn, do you have any other savings accounts? Well, yeah, I've got a savings account over there with Bank A. Well, Mr. Kilborn, we're not going to be able to pay you the whole 2% interest on your savings account because that's a windfall. You're making too much money. That's too much of a benefit to you. So we have to lower the interest rate on this savings account, let's say to 1%, just because it's fair, maybe. It's certainly not fair, and that's not the way it works anyway. You can pay into you can open up as many bank accounts as you want, and you're not penalized on how much you're putting in those accounts or penalized to the interest just because you have multiple savings or retirement accounts. But for some damn reason, excuse me, this is how it works with teachers. You paid into Social Security, you paid into 35 years. This is the amount you're supposed to be getting a month. But oh, hey, buddy, you screwed up. You decided to become a public school teacher. So now we're going to screw you out of the money that you earned and that you paid into and should be getting. Just a shitty, shitty deal, man. So anyway, that's all I have to say about that. Going to try to maybe do another video. Again, like I said at the beginning, I've been a little non-motivated. It's funny, when you retire, I have found that I have way less time to do anything than I ever did when I was working for a living. The days just fly by. But I'm enjoying my retirement. Really am. I'm fortunate. Don't feel too awfully bad for me here. I've got 4 incomes coming in. I've got my military pension, my VA waiver, my Social Security, and my teacher pension. And then, of course, all the money that I've accumulated and saved, done throughout my life to set myself up for my retirement. So don't feel horrible. $40 a month honestly isn't that much money these days, but it's the principle of the thing. That was my money, and the government doesn't have any right to mess me or screw me out of it. And I don't get it. One more reason, if you're thinking about or know a teacher, have them look into this. If you're thinking about becoming a teacher, it's just another little bit of advice I'm trying to give. It's just something to be cognizant of. This nation does not treat its teachers right. That's all there is to it. With that said, thank you so much for watching. Until next time, bye-bye.